fast if he stopped giving him money. All right. So today, Friday, September 22nd, it was all about the shorts yesterday. And apparently it was the biggest one day loss since like March, I think, with the banking crisis. Right. So what does that mean? Who knows? But it's been quite a drawdown. And we do have some levels marked here 43, 43.57 on the ES, 43.57, 43.27.50, and 42.96. Right. So I'm not really going to be looking for any shorts or to reload. And the reason is it has all the feelings to me that if we maybe if we get any upward momentum, we kind of maybe carry and we don't really get much of a reversal. And again, that's just how I'm kind of feeling how the market is right now, that it's kind of due for a little bit of a kind of do good, kind of due for some good news. But I am going to mark this spot here, 44.16. And that is a S1 today. So we're going to be watching that one. Or R1. I'll be all right. R1. Closed the pool yesterday. So the summer is officially over. What happened here? We probably did something wrong. I did, huh? Sure about that? I don't know. It didn't look like I did anything wrong. Oh, I put the wrong thimble. There you go. All right, so there you go. We have that marked. Yeah, that's about an R1. That's about as close as an R1 as you're going to get. Outside of that, I don't know. I think it's very unlikely we get back up. We get rid of this now. We don't need that. That actually worked out good. Highly unlikely we get into these upper ranges. If we do, I'm probably not going to take any of these. If anything, this here, the 44.85, which is just, that's a massive, massive move. And you can see the breadth here is pretty wide between S3 and R3. We're well over 100 points. So we have some pretty big. And then if we come all the way down, 42, I talked about 42.89. That's where that came from. That's also a point of control from way back. So, and this is a high volume node. It's also a point of control on the 1 hour. I always like to put all this stuff in because I think it's important. Because when you look back and it goes off, like let's say it takes a month, you might be like, well, what the hell was I thinking? It's just important to put little mental notes in there so you have an idea on what was kind of going through or why you did what you did. That, and then, really, and then you're talking about worst case scenario down here. Big kind of gravity down there at 41.38. So So we do have a couple of branches on the tree, so to speak, sticking out. We're really close to getting, so if we break this S1 today, chances are it runs out of steam real fast or it runs through here really fast, right? There's one of two things that can happen. Usually, with these types of areas where there's a lot of, or I call it a volume hole, where you don't really have much inventory at all, it either stalls or runs through it really fast. And so we'll see what happens there. So that's kind of what's going on for me today on the ES. That's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to move over to crude oil. Crude oil has been, honestly, has been probably the trade. And I don't mean just the long trade. It's just been really a great trade in general that, you have really been able to sell the rips and buy the dips. And it really has been that type of trade. And it continues to trend up. If we were to actually back out of this, let's just get and back out of this. You have this clear upward pattern. And if you're a pattern-based trader and you're a trend trader, you're on a trajectory that is just pretty extraordinary here. No doubt about it. And if you're really to come out even further, you kind of have two waves, right? You kind of have the first wave here, and then you have your area of support that came in, and then your second wave. And then you'll also have your area of resistance that came in. And this is really kind of a classic bull. You can't really get more classic bullish pattern than this. And is this what this is, right? Is this now the second wave? Because I know there's a lot of talk out there about $100 oil. Is this now the bottom of this next wave, right? That's, I don't know. Again, I don't like to play these games. I don't like to play those games because honestly, it's like you just sound like every other jerk out there, and I don't like. I don't like to sound. But is this the next wave of this? Right? Is this? Kind of looks similar, right? I don't know how long this is going to take here before we, but if this truly becomes a bottom, this could be the next wave up. Anyway, who knows? It's always fun to draw on the charts like a 10-year-old, but realistically, who cares, right? Let's get rid of that garbage. That's all, honestly, that's all wonky bullshit. It looks really good when you're drawing on the charts. Like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm drawing on the charts. You look like an asshole. If that's what you could do all day, you're a jackass. R2, I have it marked here, R2 at 91.26 from a couple of days ago. Probably, I don't know if I'm going to take that trade. I might even just remove that. I kind of don't like that even on the short term here. There's no real, it's a point of control, but it's not really anything. When I start drilling in, nothing's really sticking out up here. I have to go back. Let's go to 4 hours. I have to go to 4-hour chart to get any semblance of, and I guess maybe R3 at 92.30 looks like a much better proposition. And then you got this mini double top kind of going on here as well, 93.37. But there's really not too many, I would say, high volume nodes like that are sticking out that I like to see. Like Yeah. Right. But R3 looks like the trade of the day. If we get up there, which is around 90. Where is R3? R3 does look like the trade of the day. We've already, looks like we got really close and bounced off it. It looks like it's about 91 or 92 something. Let's see, 92.30 or so. So anyway, let's go back to the 1 hour. That is really the only one that kind of sticks out in my head. 92.27. Well, we've already kind of, problem with that is that it's in the, usually if it's visibly been touched already, it doesn't have the power. Does not have the power. Nonetheless, we mock it. But it definitely doesn't have the power as if it was an initial touch. Again, if it comes up there with not much momentum, yeah. But I do have these alerted that, hey, look, if it's a kind of a slow, grindy day, might be worth taking that trade up there at R2, again, depending on how the price action is. It does look like we're in a pretty clear reversal back up. We had a pretty nice drawdown down here to about 88.41. So we'll see. We'll see how we go. Dollar's very strong again today. That always poses, a bit of an issue as well. So that's kind of it on the crude front. We have stuff pretty well marked out, I think. Soybeans, man, I don't know. I'm done with this product, I think. I'm done for a while. I missed a great trade yesterday, and it kind of pissed me off. Totally my fault. Beautiful reversal trade yesterday down here at 12.92. Literally broke an R3 like by 3-4 ticks. Like it's my perfect setup normally, and it did so kind of slowly, which was perfect. And then it reversed almost 10 handles. And back up to 1,300, and literally it was like I sat there and I was like, I missed it by like 5 minutes. Decided to get up and had to take a shit right before. And I don't put orders in unless I'm sitting at my desk because I've just had too many problems with that. When I put stuff in and then it either slips or for whatever reason my stop doesn't get put in. And then the brokerage firm says, oh, well, we can't be responsible for your software because, it's like, fuck you. You put my fucking stop in. Go, fuck you. So anyway, so I don't do that. So that's kind of just my hang up. And that's it. Really, all that's kind of it as far as like futures. And then I can't help but look at what's going on in the bond market. Just an absolute massacre. But I do think, again, I'm going to reiterate that, I do think that bonds are worth a shot long. Now, you don't have to bet the farm, but if you are looking for something contrarian, why not? Give it a shot. Give it a shot. So I'm doing some TLT. That's how I'm playing it. And I showed you earlier in the week how I'm doing. I'm just doing spreads. Just doing simple call spreads out in December mostly, and that's how I'm playing it. And so, and last but not least, well, actually not completely last, is natural gas with the pullback. And right back, amazing, right? Here it is. This is even here from yesterday. We did mark it. The alert went off. Here it is. I'll show it to you. The alert went off. Here it is. Triggered. Natural gas. There it is. Triggered. The alerts trigger, folks. They do work. I do put them in. I unfortunately was sleeping when this happened, so I did not get this trade. Now, if I was selling a trade service, I could actually, I could make a mint out of this, and go fucking nuts and say, yeah, see, we alerted it. Yeah. Just like all these other jerk offs do. But did you actually take the trade? Right? Who cares you alerted? Did you actually take the trade? But anyway, I'm just kidding around. It did alert and it did go off, and it was actually a perfect bounce off this point of control, which I said it, was. And, fortunately, I just wasn't around to take advantage of it. But there you have it. And natural gas still kind of in this, whatever this is, right? Whatever this is this a rising wedge? What is this? Is this a rising wedge or is this a classic wedge? I don't fucking know. All I know is there's like a wedge here, and it's been trading in here, and it seems like, it appears that this is definitely kind of consolidating in here, getting ready to either bust or blow up. So we'll see. I think it blows up. I mean, getting into the winter months, it is starting to get freaking cold here. I mean, it went down to almost 48 degrees last night where I'm at. And, I want to know where all the global warming went. Everything's so hot. It hasn't been this hot since, the last time. All I know is I grew up in the fucking 70s with no air conditioning. I remember it being pretty fucking hot in the summer. And I don't even remember anybody making a big fucking deal about it, but it was pretty fucking hot. And we didn't even have any air conditioning. So shut the fuck up. Shut up. So there you have it with natural gas. And then I'm going to throw gold up just because why not? Why not just throw gold up? The shittiest asset on the planet. I don't mean that look, if you buy gold coins and shit, good for you. I'm just talking about as far as the trading. This is the fucking worst thing on the planet, fucking trade. It really is garbage. It is garbage. Not that you can't catch it once in a while pretty nicely, but this thing is just stuck. It is just stuck. And I don't see how gold really even has a chance as long as they're raising interest rates and the dollar stays strong. But then again, there you have it. And so I'm going to throw this one out there. This is kind of a, off the cuff one, but, one thing I've always noticed over my years of being in this business, is so goes pretty much the market and the economy, so goes copper. And when copper's relatively strong and on the rise, usually means that the economy's growing, and because copper's used in a lot of shit. It's truly like a real industrial metal, right? You cannot make a motor without copper. You just can't. You can't build a house without copper. Well, today you can now because they use PEX. They use that PEX shit as far as plumbing. But, try wiring a house with no copper. Ain't going to work. And now there is even more wire run in a house than there was just 10 or 15, even 20 years ago because everything runs on electric. So they're putting outlets in everywhere now, even in new houses. So anyway, so goes copper. Copper looks pretty dismal, is I guess what I'm trying to get at. So if you're looking at what a picture of the economy may be months ahead, keep an eye on copper. And as long as copper is in this downtrend, and it's in a clear downtrend with probably a bottom somewhere down here in the threes, which is pretty horrible. And this is a falling wedge, I guess, isn't it? Falling wedge or something, or who the fuck knows what it is. Anyway, the trend is down and it continues to be weak. And as long as that's the case, I think you continue to see weakness in the overall markets until this kind of turns around. So let's go into some stocks. And boy, wow. I did do the Amazon trade I talked about. It's held up pretty well. It's only down like $20. So, I have to say I'm happy about that. but I'm still in it. Obviously, I'm looking for support down here at about 128, and pretty much everything across the board in big tech uh, took it yesterday. And if you're short big tech, you're sitting pretty good right now, especially with some of the bigger ones like NVIDIA continues to, I'm sorry I didn't pile in a little harder on this one. But, let's face it, this thing's had such an incredible run. Let's zoom out. Come on. There we go. This thing's had such an incredible run. It's, I don't want to stand. I'm not one to stand in front of a freight train when it's coming. I just, been there, done that. But this is clearly coming back pretty fast to this line that we, about the, 390 or so? It's at 413. Had a pretty bad day yesterday. Everything down pretty much 2% across the board as far as big tech. Had a couple outliers like, Intel, which pretty much they fucking massacred this thing as it is. So, I mean, I don't know where else. This thing is going to go. And Microsoft pretty much kind of held itself. But as I mentioned yesterday as well, the only one that truly still kind of remains bullish overall out of all these stocks is Meta, which I'm surprised about because I'm not a fan. So anyway, just looking through these and just kind of going through the charts, big tech looks like it's in trouble. And if big tech's in trouble, chances are the market's in trouble. So AMD, now what are you going to do? Now, let's just look at any of these stocks and let's go into, let's just look at some trades and let's just throw some of these up just for the hell of it. There's still not much you can do. Here's Tesla, IV rank at 22. You can't really do much there. What are you going to do? Like I said, you can do calendar spreads. AMD, 21 IV rank, right? That's kind of suck. Right? I want to see the IV rank. I don't really want to be involved with these stocks until they're in their 30s or even 40s, preferably 50s and above. Then you're talking. But you really can't do anything in here. And this stock just sucks to trade. It's just a piece of shit. Adobe. It's so illiquid. For a large stock that's $500, I would think it'd be a lot less illiquid, but it's not. But what do you do with these? I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, just like a lot of other people. Like, do you get long here? Do you close your eyes and get long and then just figure, hey, it's going to work out? We are kind of nearing the crash months, right? October, October are infamous for, the market kind of taking it on the chin overall. So, I don't know. Anyway, I think you're probably better off waiting and sitting on the sidelines with a lot of this stuff. Unless you want to do like calendar spreads. I think those are going to be the only things that are going to be of any benefit to you right now. And I mean that across the board on the big tech. I think calendar spreads will be the way to fly on these. And the reason the calendar spreads because you're not really going to be selling volatility as much, and you'll have some flexibility to kind of maneuver. All right, where are we at? 24 minutes, and that's pretty much it. I don't want to ramble on. I really got nothing, folks. I'm getting ready for a pretty big vacation coming up as well, so I'll be gone for a few weeks. But that's about it. I mean, there's not really a hell of a lot going on outside of, the normal gibberish that we hear. And as far as stocks, I mean, so goes big tech, so goes the market. I mean, if these things are weak and they suck, everything's going to suck, let's face it. Because out of all these stocks you have listed here, they make up literally like most of every index there is, including the Dow. It's insane. It's insane that they've actually like designed this to be so centered on just a few stocks now that it's pretty pathetic. In fact, it's pretty sad. But anyway, that's what it is. That's all I got. Have a good weekend, and I will be back on Monday.